Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bill-ievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a commenter topic edition of Bill-ievers Talk, where we take a topic that was submitted by one of you, the commenters, and we talk about that topic. Right now, I'm going to look at a topic submitted by Anthony John. Anthony John asks, what if the Buffalo Bills were to make the Super Bowl? How do I think they would fare against the NFC's elite teams? I thought, what a good time to do this video. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving, we play the last NFC team on our schedule. Currently 2-1 against those NFC teams in the NFC East, guys. I think the NFC East division, probably the weaker of the divisions in the NFC. Before we get into this, though, however, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and again, leave a comment. Tell me what topics you want me to do a video on. Again, I'm doing a topic video right now. Anthony John submitted this a few weeks back, asking who do I think the Bills would do well against as far as the NFC elite, and who do I think would give us problems if the Bills were to make a Super Bowl. So before I get a bunch of comments saying the Bills are not going to make the Super Bowl, first of all, I don't think we're as far away as a lot of people think. And secondly, this is a what-if scenario. So I completely understand that. I hope you do too. But let's get into this. Again, Anthony John says, if the Bills make the Super Bowl, how would we fare against the NFC elite? And I'm not going to lie, guys, in order to figure that out, we have to figure out who are the NFC elite. What teams do we have up there in the NFC elite? Again, I just said the NFC East, the division we played, doesn't look like they have any elite teams in it. We do play the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow. Again, I will be giving you a live play-by-play reaction to that game tomorrow. So if you haven't already subscribed to Bill-ievers Talk, guys, hit that subscribe button, like this video as we get ready to celebrate Thanksgiving as a Bills Mafia family and watch that game together. First Thanksgiving Day game for the Buffalo Bills since 1994. I'm excited. I hope you are excited as well. So let's talk about the NFC elite. Who in your mind is the NFC elite? Tell me in the comment section, who do you have as elite teams in the NFC? I'm going to give you 5 teams I think have a chance in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. First, I'm going to give you the team in the NFC West. I think you have to start all elite conversations with this team, and that would be the San Francisco 49ers, sitting at 10-1 right now. They have the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL, the number 6th ranked offense. So a lot of people are not talking about the San Francisco offense, but this running attack is for real over there in San Francisco. They have a real offense, even though Jimmy G might not be playing as elite as some of the other quarterbacks that will be on this list. This team is, and so you have to give them credit for that, and that's why they are sitting at 10-1, and that's why if you're talking about NFC elite, they have to be that first team that you talk about. The second team on this list is the Seattle Seahawks, right behind the San Francisco 49ers in the standings, only a game back, waiting for San Fran to make a mistake, or maybe waiting to play them again, as Seattle is the only loss that San Fran has right now on their schedule. So if you look at the Seattle offense, 5th, you know how Russell Wilson's playing, MVP type level, MVP caliber, but this defense does struggle. Now, this defense is very opportunistic. They don't give up a lot of points. They do create a lot of turnovers, but they're sitting at 23rd in total yards allowed. So I think that's where there's a big difference between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Is you have the 49ers sitting with that number 1 overall defense, the Seahawks sitting at 23. The next team I have on this list is the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings sitting with the 8th ranked offense and the 15th ranked defense, kind of middle of the pack both ways. And if Kirk Cousins is hot, we know what we get out of the Minnesota Vikings. And you talk about that 1-2 punch at wide receiver between Diggs and Thielen. I think they have something special in Minnesota, might be going for that NFC North division. And then 4th, you have the other team from the NFC North, a team that just suffered a tough loss, the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, I think, are elite team. Any team you have Aaron Rodgers on, anytime you have Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have a good team. Now, I know this team is ranked 21st in offense. That offensive line struggles at times, and there's not a lot of playmakers on the Packers team, and they are 28th in defense. So you wonder, how does this team keep doing it? Again, opportunistic turnovers, and they play a weaker schedule up till now. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the year, but I have the Packers as an elite team right now in the NFC. And then my 5th team is the Saints. Goes kind of with the Packers. You have a team with Aaron Rodgers on it. You have a team with Drew Brees on it. I'm going to call you elite more times than not. Sean Payton, a great offensive mastermind, so you know that he is going to do some good things for the Seattle Seahawks, or for the New Orleans Saints. So I think those are my elite teams in the NFC. So how would the Bills fare against those 5 teams? Well, let's start with the San Francisco 49ers, right? You look at the San Francisco 49ers defense, again, one of the 2 teams that have a better defense than we do statistically in the NFL right now. You talk about the Buffalo Bills offense, not a lot of high power weapons. I think Devin Singletary will be leaned on heavily in this game because you look at the San Francisco pass defense first in the NFL. I think we would need to run Frank Gore. I think we need to run Devin Singletary. It would be a homecoming for Frank Gore as well, so that'd be kind of cool to see. But if you give me San Fran versus Buffalo in the Super Bowl, right now I would say that San Fran has to be favored because you look again at this defense creating turnovers. You know that Josh Allen can commit a lot of turnovers if he's pressured, if he feels frazzled, and I think that's what this defense would do. Again, number one against the pass, so we'd have to rely on Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, and even Josh Allen to create. We saw Josh Allen, how he did against this Denver Broncos D recently, where he was able to create with his feet, and that opened up some passing lanes later in the game. So we would have to get play action going in this one if we wanted to say we had a chance against the 49ers, but that 49ers team is just really good, and they would rely on the run as well. And we know how the Buffalo Bills have fared against the run this season, not always looking so hot, and they do have a two-headed monster in the running game as well. So I think that would create some problems for the Buffalo Bills. Again, I'm not too worried about the pass game as we're third in pass defense as well, but I think running game versus running game give a slight edge right now to the San Francisco 49ers. Special teams, you got to give the edge to the 49ers as well. So I would take the 49ers slightly in this game if they were to play the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. Going down to the next team, and I think this is the same type of scenario, the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks a little bit different though, right? They have Russell Wilson. They have a guy who can sling the ball down the field and create opportunities with his legs and his arm. One of the best quarterbacks in the game, playing at MVP level right now, and I think that would play a huge factor in a game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Buffalo Bills. Now, Seattle's defense, again, not as good as San Fran's, currently ranked 23rd in total yards allowed, but they're opportunistic. They're very opportunistic, and we might see that come into effect if we were to play in the Super Bowl. But again, rely on that running game. I think that's one thing that the Buffalo Bills need to do in any of these matchups is rely on that running game. But I would give Seattle the edge here. Russell Wilson just MVP, playing at a high level right now. I know that Trey White would do his thing on the one side, but you do have to worry about that other side. I know we're getting better on that side. Kevin Johnson's doing well, but as of right now, as we stand, if the Buffalo Bills would play the Seattle Seahawks, I think the Seattle Seahawks would win that contest. But you look at these other three teams that I listed, Packers, Vikings, Saints, and I think the Bills would have a real shot here. I really do. Now, with the Saints, it would be about matching point for point, right? But again, we have the number 3 defense, so how many points would they score? You're talking about the 12th overall offense. You're talking about the 10th ranked defense, so how many points could the Saints score against our offense? You talk about Drew Brees, you talk about Kamara running the ball. Again, a problem for the Buffalo Bills this season has been running the ball. So how well would they do running the ball against this Buffalo Bills defense? I think Kamara would have a pretty good day. I really do. And I think we'll find out a lot more tomorrow. Remember, join me tomorrow for a live play-by-play reaction to the game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. But tomorrow against Ezekiel Elliott, I think Alvin Kamara and Ezekiel Elliott have a similar running style. So it'll be interesting to see how we play against Zeke, and that might determine how well I think we would do against a Saints running attack led by Alvin Kamara. So if you look at the game against the New Orleans Saints, I think the Bills might have the edge here. You take away, that Michael Thomas versus Trey White matchup would be huge, right? It would be so big. It would be awesome to see that. But I think you take away Michael Thomas, and Drew Brees might have some problems getting the ball out in time before this defensive line gets to him. So it'd be very interesting to see that if Trey White could hold Michael Thomas under 100 yards, maybe under 75 yards, and then I think the Buffalo Bills would have a good shot. But it would really depend on that matchup. That would be the matchup to watch for that game. That would be a lot of fun. On the offensive side, again, Josh Allen can create with his feet. I would love to see how Cole Beasley would do in a game like this. A good slot receiver, might play pretty well. Some of those corners over there in New Orleans, pretty good, right? Pretty good. We know about the one over there, Lattimore. He does pretty good for the Saints. Not as good as ours, though. I think Trey White is better than him. I know they were drafted in the same draft class, but I think Trey White's better, even though he lost to him in Rookie of the Year. I still think that's ridiculous. Look at the Vikings and Packers. You have the Packers currently 21st on offense, 28th in defense. I think the Bills match up really well against the Packers. Honestly, the only edge I would give the Packers is Aaron Rodgers, right? You talk about the Packers, that's where the conversation stops. You have to go with Aaron Rodgers to say he's Aaron Rodgers and we're not, and we're living in his world. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, but you look at that offensive line. That offensive offensive line would not be able to hang up against our defensive front seven. I think we would run some blitz packages that Rodgers wouldn't be ready for, kind of like that game 2 weeks ago against Miami with Fitzpatrick. Confuse Aaron Rodgers a little bit, make him have to hurry some throws, and then all of a sudden the Bills might make him make a mistake, might be able to capitalize on some good field position. Either way, I think the Buffalo Bills stand a good chance against the Green Bay Packers. Then you look at the Minnesota Vikings, and again, we know that Kirk Cousins can be hot and cold, and I think in this game we match up well against the Minnesota Vikings. Again, we would take Diggs away with Trey White, right, or Thielen, and then he would just have one guy. And Kevin Johnson, I think, would do a good job against either one, Diggs or Thielen. I think I would love to see Trey White on Thielen, just because he does better against guys like Thielen than he would against speed that Diggs has. So I have him up against Thielen, and then see if Kevin Johnson could cover Diggs. That would be the story for me in the game. If Diggs could get some openings and get some big plays down the field, then obviously that changes the perspective. But I think the Buffalo Bills could hold their own against the Minnesota Vikings. So if you look at the top 5, the teams I have as my top 5 elite NFC teams right now going into Week 13, I have the 49ers, Seahawks, Packers, Vikings, and Saints. I think the Bills would easily be competitive against at least 3 of these teams, the Saints, Vikings, Packers. I think the Seahawks and 49ers are still in a league above us, but hey, we're not that far away, like I said. So again, Anthony John, thank you for the topic of discussion. I hope that I did you proud and answered some of the questions that you would have for the Buffalo Bills against the NFC. Again, the NFC is just a stronger conference right now, and I put these 5 teams on as the elite, but we're going to see how we do against the next tier. I think Dallas is in that next tier, maybe not elite, but one of the good teams in the NFC, and we're going to see how we do against them tomorrow. Again, join me tonight as I pregame that game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills, and then join me tomorrow as I do the live play-by-play and reaction to that game. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave a comment. How do you think we would do against the NFL's elite teams? Also, is there a topic that you want me to talk about here on Believers Talk? Happy to do it. Love the fan interaction, so I really appreciate everything you guys do. And also, like I said, do you think there's another team on here that I'm missing as far as the NFC elite? Let me know in the comment section. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.